welcome to Let's Talk About Gay Sex and Drugs. It's lovely to see you all here tonight. For those of you who don't know, Let's Talk About Gay Sex and Drugs is an open forum for anyone to come and talk about how they perceive sex and drugs within the gay male community of London. It's completely open, anybody can talk about whatever they like, and our only rule is that everyone gets 5 minutes and no one gets more than 5 minutes, apart from some of our featured speakers who've been invited tonight. And the way that we measure that is that I've got my timer over there, and I'm Pat, by the way. Hi, I'll be your host for tonight. And at 4 minutes 45, I usually have a heart-shaped Princess Diana bell, but tonight, unfortunately, we lost Diana to the cause. So it's just a regular London bell. Okay, and but that, if you hear that, if you're up here and you're lost in your flow and you're sharing your best masterpiece with the world, then 4 minutes 45 is just bringing you back to 15 seconds just to wrap up. And if you don't wrap up within that time, because we have equality ethos, we're friendly night. We're not going to come on and push you off. But I do have access to the decks, and so we can change it to Kylie very, very loud. So if you don't want your words to be forever subsumed to Kylie Minogue, as much as we love her, then it's within the 5 minutes, I guess, tonight. I have a couple of announcements tonight. Tonight is porn themed, and so we're lucky to have some amazing featured speakers talking about porn tonight for us. And that can be approached like however you want, within the angle of how it relates to sex and drugs, or just talk about porn itself. We are very, very lucky to have been sponsored by Wandsworth Oasis. So can we give a round of applause for Wandsworth Oasis? And you can find flyers about Wandsworth Oasis on your tables tonight. And Celestian TV are filming, but if you don't want to be on film, then don't sign a release form, because they won't use your film without the release form, or you can ask them to actually turn off the camera, and they're lovely people, so they'll turn off the camera for you. Okay, so I think that is everything. So to get onto the event proper, I guess.
So, my name is Ashley Ryder. Recently I discovered that I can get better hair with a hairdryer. I also discovered that, but basically I'm a little bit sick and tired of everybody deciding that people have watched too much porn. My present is that A, I've discovered how to use a hairdryer. B, I recently got Best Director 2014. C, I got Best Screenplay. But my favourite one of them all at the moment is I've just been given Fist Pig of the Year 2016. So, if there is a talk later on in the future about fisting, let me know. Okay, so, in the past, I was a middle-class boy, and my parents were very open about sex, and they said if you ever need to talk about sex, just come and talk to us. And from the very, very early age, I was given the Fisher-Price book of Living with the Body, and it had graphic drawings of how things would happen. So when my friend at school said, "Oh, babies come from the anus," I was like, actually, no, they don't. And so from then, when I became a little bit more sexually evolved, which was actually quite young, my parents gave me a book called Living with the Willy, and in there I read a little article, a little paragraph about mutual masturbation. And I was like, wow, soppy biscuit, where the fuck can I find this? Well, through this kind of journey and this openness to sexuality, my first ever viewing of porn was the Kama Sutra in the full-on, big-scale, like Papa Tashin style book like this. And I remember walking down the stairs of it and having it taken off me very quickly, and then hidden, and I found where it was hidden, and I kept looking. And the 69 position was like something that I always really wanted to try, but obviously not with a woman. And why was the woman the one that was held upside down? I wanted to be held upside down. Anyway, that was another story. So, my first ever viewing of anything sexual live was in McDonald's on Oxford Street. I'd come down to see Inspector Calls, and I looked through in the toilets in this like Swiss cheese middle board. And I looked through, and under golden light was this really big penis. And I couldn't even see his face, so I would never even know who it was. And he masturbated till he came, and at that point I knew I was gay. And that was the first time I ever saw sex through a lens. That's what I believe. From then on, I lost my virginity at the age of 14. By the time I was 16, I was working in a gay sauna illegally. I told them that I had no passport because I never travelled, I had no driver's license because I'd never driven, and we just moved house and couldn't find my birth certificate. The best thing about working in a gay sauna, this is before the satellite TV and stuff, they had all the channels. My parents were like so middle class, we're not giving you a TV, let's just sit inside all the time. I got paid £2 an hour to work in that sauna from 12 till 6, all the toasted sandwiches I could have and all the channels on the TV. After that, I could suck cock.
All of a sudden, Jimmy Savile's forgiven. Oh, hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk About Gay Sex and Drugs. Yeah, I haven't been here for a while, but I've recently been back in Darlington. Have you heard of Darlington? Yes. Yeah, but where I'm from. I know, watch your handbag. Because I was 32 at the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, 32. This is a very flattering light. I'm going to stand up because I don't like being constrained. Well, unless there's, which is very much the point of the evening, isn't it really? But yeah, Darlington's kind of, was my sexual awakening. So I started to think about, while I've been sat there, kind of, what happened at Darlington? How did I first access pornography in Darlington in the late 90s? And I'm not talking about the Spice Girls. But yeah, Darlington was very much the place where and I wanted to talk about how accessible, porn is now. Now that we've got all these lovely shiny iPhones at the end of our fingertips. It's fantastic, but it wasn't always like that. Who there remembers Queer as Folk? Yeah! I remember recording Queer as Folk on a VHS, right? On a VH fucking S. Quiet as a mouse in the house, barricading myself in the bedroom so my gran couldn't get in. Why are you going in there? And that small 10-second rimming scene, I had no idea what the fuck rimming was. I thought it was a medical procedure. But basically, that was my introduction to porn, and you'd just be going, oh, rewind. Rewind. And then we got Channel 5. Do you remember when we got Channel 5? Yeah. And I was like, wow, we've got Channel 5. And they used to have Sex and Shopping on. Do you remember that? On my own. Okay. That was great! One time they had a whole gay porn episode and they actually showed, boys kissing. Ooh! But it was fine for me because this wasn't really my sexual awakening, because I actually, although I've had more girlfriends in my life at school rather than I've had boyfriends my entire life. Oh. Fuck you. And I was shagging the school bully basically, which was amazing. I know, and he was a massive bottom as well, aren't he all? It's so very disappointing. But basically, he was kind of my sexual awakening at the time, and through that whole kind of Queer as Folk thing. So I don't know, I suppose kind of porn wasn't necessarily a reason of kind of how I got into sex. It was more of it was an enabler, as it were. And then I moved down to London in 2004. And, but before that, we had the internet. Not just the internet, AOL dial-up. Remember that? Yeah. And do you remember the download browser WinMX? Does anybody remember that? It was like a kind of, you used to be able to download things illegally, not kiddie stuff. Like music and porn and all that. No? Nobody remember that? No. Okay. Show my age. Well, I downloaded the virus, which should have been a fortune for the future, but there you go, and it ruined my computer, but there you go. And I moved to London in 2004. And then I discovered gaydar. Oh. When you actually had to be somewhere when you were going to meet someone. No? No? Okay. And again, that was almost like a kind of sexual awakening. But as the kind of years have progressed, sex, and I'm going to relate this rather unusually to in my other work, I'm a DJ, right? And people these days, they don't want, sometimes you could play a couple of songs or whatever, slowly build everybody up. And Ashley, you can share with me with this sentiment. Where's the plot gone in porn? Nobody wants a narrative anymore, do they? It's just trousers down, straight down, doors on the latch, fuck me, let's get going. And it's similar with music. They just want the hits, they just want you to carry on. They just want you to go boom, 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 boom. And it's a similar, I don't know, it's almost like this, hang on, let me check my notes. Porn is so accessible, and yeah, I don't know, I just feel like I think it's brilliant to some degree that porn is so accessible, and I don't believe in this kind of gay marriage mafia and heteronormativity that we should aspire to be this gay white male, like, oh yes, we always want to be just like you, fuck that, I don't want to be a part of that. I think we should celebrate our sexuality, but we should also have some kind of respect for one another in terms of not slut shaming, not sex shaming, not gay shaming. So that might be for you. Thank you. And I want to end on that note with, it's always a challenge when I'm here to end on a Madonna quote.
Oh!
Who the fuck said that? There is a Madonna quote for every occasion. Just don't listen to what she's doing down in Melbourne today, though, because it looks like she's going through a bit of a midlife crisis, bless her. What was that? But this isn't the quote, so the quote from Madonna to end on from this porn theme, ladies and gentlemen, is, did I say something true? Oops, I didn't know we could talk about sex. Did I have a point of view? Oops, I didn't know we could talk about you. But I'm not sorry, because boys and girls, it's human nature. Thank you.